Howdy, boys and girls. It is week 10 of the college football season, and you guys have found your way back to the Carla and Crappy Show. Week 10, that's far enough into the season. That means we are going to be talking about games in today's show, in this week's show, that will be played in November. Played in November. And November, if you're a college football fan, this is it. This is like pinnacle college football. It is conference races. It is bowl eligibility. It is the whole Thanksgiving / rivalry weekend, playoff rankings, freaking MACtion.
Yes.
We're going to get to that too. It's November, and we can't wait for November on this program. And we are super happy. I'm being assumption. I'm making assumptions. Carla, are you ready for November football?
I think so. I'm not as ready as I was hoping I was going to be.
I know.
But the season's lived, other than like I said, my fandoms are in the tank, but like other than my fandoms, it's okay. I'm ready for it because the rest of the football season has been so chaotic, which is what I was rooting for, right? I've been rooting for chaos, and we're getting chaos. We'll talk more about chaos today.
Yes, we are.
I'm thoroughly enjoying that aspect of it. So I guess I'm ready for November. It happens. November is fast and furious. Like if you're not ready for November, like it's gonna go by in a flash, and you're not gonna realize what happened. You're gonna wake up after Thanksgiving and go, wait, what? What just happened?
Don't do that, boys and girls.
Don't do that.
You're going to miss way too much if you let that happen. AJ, 2 questions for you. Are you ready for November football? And is Brian Kelly ready for November football?
I hope he's got I hope he's got YouTube TV. I bet he does. You know what? I think Brian Kelly still pays for full cable. I think he's got a whole cable box.
Probably.
You know, he's not busy now.
Direct TV.
Yeah, maybe? He's got DirecTV with, like, he still thinks he gets the Sunday ticket. He doesn't, but he thinks he does.
Well, that's
what you have when you have the satellite.
He's going to have more time to figure that out. Starting this weekend.
So am I ready for November football? When you said the phrase, it's bowl eligibility. I'm not worried. Hawaii made a bowl, baby. We're in, baby.
Yes.
We're good.
Yes.
I did find out, though, that Hawaii, the only way Hawaii is getting off the island for a bowl game is if they make a New Year's Six game. So that's what we're putting in the atmosphere now. We're winning the Mountain West, baby.
Okay.
They're contracted to the Hawaii Bowl. If they make a bowl game, they go to the Hawaii Bowl. It's kind of how it works.
Well, it's a lot cheaper to take a bus ride than to fly a team to the mainland.
Walk to the bowl game.
That's true. They don't even need. Yeah, you're right.
Kind of like the year Vandy played in the Music City Bowl.
That would be.
It's here's the thing. It's like Hawaii is the walkable community of bowl games. Like everything is within 15 minutes. Like there's bed, there's bowl game. It's the same thing. Brian Kelly, though, he went out and had a bad time on Saturday, but the outcome of the game on Saturday was not the reason he fully got fired. The story that I've seen floated around through various articles, there's a number of them in The Athletic. If you don't subscribe to The Athletic, you should. Their college football coverage is great.
Yep.
They apparently, after the game on Sunday, he met with the AD, Scott Woodward. He was the one who hired Jimbo Fisher at A&M, by the way, in case you're wondering how his hirings go. He's also the guy who hired James Franklin at Vandy. Yeah. So, like, everybody has been involved here. But he meets with Brian and says, hey, listen, the offense was real bad. You got to fire the OC. And Brian Kelly does not want to fire the OC. He offered some other assistants. And the AD was like, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, well, I'm not firing my OC. And Scott Woodward said, well, I'm firing you then. This went all the way to the governor of Louisiana, as it should, because Louisiana is an insane place with Napoleonic code law, and that's how it works. The governor is involved in the head coaching hire at LSU. Governor Long. And so now you have Brian Kelly, who is out of a job. There were a lot of people who were not thrilled with Brian Kelly over the last calendar year. He was on the hot seat, even with whatever his buyout was. It doesn't matter. He very much was, and by the way, it was higher than James Franklin's. It was somewhere in like the $55 million range. So you have two different coaches getting, there's $100 million plus in dead money being paid to coaches to not do their jobs. In case you're wondering if God contracts are sticking around, probably. But he very much was just not liked. And there were a few reasons why I think this hire just didn't work. Number one, it wasn't their first option. They didn't want him. They wanted Jimbo. They wanted A&M Jimbo. Number two, when he left Notre Dame, Mike Denbrock, his OC at Notre Dame, stayed at Notre Dame and was the OC for Marcus Freeman, who was his defensive coordinator at Notre Dame. He took none of his staff with him to LSU. So he's going down to LSU with a staff that he does not know. And he's building out an entire program from the ground up at LSU, which is an insane statement to make. And then he fires Tommy Moffitt. Anybody know who Tommy Moffitt is?
I do. That's actually my story. Because joke, one of my best friends, Tommy Moffitt is her cousin by marriage.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I know the people that I was sitting with at the Vandy LSU game was Tommy Moffitt's family.
That's amazing.
So
hey, Carla, who's Tommy Moffitt?
So Tommy Moffitt, if you don't know this story, this is an incredible story. Tommy Moffitt is one of the best strength and conditioning coaches in the entire country for 26 straight years. All of his teams between LSU, Tennessee, and Miami went to a bowl game for 26 straight years. That's the kind of strength and conditioning coach that he was. He was hired in 2000 at LSU by Nick Saban, who hired him. He stayed all the way until Brian Kelly showed up and said, bye-bye.
And he
and
fires
got rid of
Tommy
him.
Moffitt. Hey, Carla, where'd he go?
Where did he go? To A&M.
That's correct.
Whoops.
The family would like this to be called Moffitt's Revenge. Because if you've seen the videos out of Texas A&M, first of all, Tommy Moffitt brought a dummy to practice at Texas A&M for the week before the LSU game with Brian Kelly's face on it.
Oh, geez.
Sure did. They sure did.
That was reported on On3. I didn't get that. I did not get that inside information. That was actually on On3.
That was a publicly reported thing.
Yeah. And the videos that have been posted of Moffitt's celebration after the win are epic.
I'm gonna have to look for those because strength and conditioning coaches, as a rule, are nuts, and that I bet that's impressive. I bet it's impressive.
So it's you fire your strength and conditioning coach, and A&M goes out and like beats the brakes off LSU 2 years in a row, like out physicals them.
It was also one of Mike Elko's first moves.
Yes.
When he got to Texas A&M, when he saw Tommy Moffitt was available, he went, "Thank you," and brought Tommy Moffitt in. And all of a sudden, Texas A&M is playing much more physical, much stronger, much beefier football. It's almost like your strength and conditioning coach matters, Brian, you dork. He also just Brian Kelly as a person, no one likes.
No.
You brought him in as a name, like LSU poached the head coach at Notre Dame. A reminder, does anybody remember what happened? Does anybody remember the feeling when Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame and goes to LSU and Notre Dame makes Marcus Freeman the head coach? Do you remember what we all said?
Yes. Yes.
God dang it, you guys made us like Notre Dame.
Yes.
You made Notre Dame cool like that.
And cool and better. Not
better.
Not to mention better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hey, what happened in the second season after Brian Kelly left? The thing that he said he couldn't do at Notre Dame.
Made the playoff.
Made the playoff and made the national championship game. and had an opportunity to win it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And didn't because Ohio State was a like overall more talented team last year. But you had like Brian Kelly went to LSU and specifically said because they have the resources to win a national championship. Saying that after leaving Notre Dame. Are you Brian Kelly, you're a dork. You need to sit with your $50 million and think about what you did. Because you couldn't good hang your way out of this. There's a few coaches who have not been fired in the past. Will Muschamp, is actually a really great example of this. Like Will Muschamp is kind of a dummy and not a terribly great game day coach, but apparently he's a good hang.
Okay.
And that means a lot in the coaching space of like, you can pal with the ADs, you can pal with the boosters so they don't come for your head immediately. And so Will Muschamp had these longer terms at Florida and South Carolina that he probably wouldn't have gotten if he acted like Brian Kelly. So enjoy sitting on the bench, Brian Kelly. I also would like to, not necessarily that we're doing plugs for other shows here, but Phantom Island is a wonderful show that Stephen Godfrey, who's done a number of other podcasts and is usually pretty tapped into the coaching space, did an episode where he opened 40 total jobs. A good, like a what we would consider to be a crazy coaching carousel is like 25. And he got to 40, and it wasn't until he got to the last 5 that I felt like he was even remotely stretching. So we're at, by the way, we're at 10 right now.
Yes.
And as a reminder, these are big jobs that existing head coaches will fill. This is how the coaching carousel actually happens. It's not just, hey, these jobs, people get fired, and then lower coordinators fill them. It's usually sitting head coaches, and so those jobs come open, and then they hire people who are also usually sitting coaches, and so this is how the carousel itself works.
It is going to be absolutely insane, because these are not, as you said, these are not little inconsequential programs. The Power 5, the Power 4 jobs that will be available. That we know of, and a few others that we can make assumptions about. The list: Stanford, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Penn State, Florida, LSU, and then safe to guess Wisconsin, safe to guess Florida State, Kentucky, Auburn.
Wisconsin's not on Godfrey's list.
Yeah, so this stuff.
I didn't see it.
Was it?
Oh, it was. It was. It was down there.
I would say I didn't see it, but maybe I just overlooked it.
Yeah, it was. Just here's a quick spoiler in there. Wisconsin fires Luke Fickell and hires Matt Campbell from Iowa State.
Okay.
That would be a good hire.
That is a good hire.
What I think they would do, what I think they're going to do instead is hire Brian Kelly. Like Brian Kelly to Wisconsin makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. Well, for everybody except for Wisconsin football fans. But
there is that.
Well, I have to do one quick Wikipedia lookup because there's one person who I think should go to who should basically return home, but he is 61 years old. I don't know that he necessarily has the long term there, but Lance Leipold at Kansas. Lance Leipold is Wisconsin to the bone and won multiple national championships at Wisconsin Whitewater, the D3 school in Wisconsin.
That's true.
It's part of the UW system. Like he's born in Jefferson, Wisconsin. He played quarterback at Wisconsin Whitewater. He started his coaching career there, and it wasn't until he went to Nebraska Omaha as a running backs coach that he even left Wisconsin, and then he came back to Wisconsin Whitewater. Like he's all the way through there.
Okay.
That would be a mama calling. But so if we get Leopold to Wisconsin, then an even funnier outcome to all of this, because it's where SEC coaches go to like end their careers, would be Brian Kelly to Kansas.
Oh my God. I hadn't. Oh, hold on. Whoa.
Okay, I'm going to start advocating for that. Brian Kelly to Kansas. Let's make this happen.
Weird.
No. Kansas doesn't deserve that. That's rude. They had to deal with Les Miles being a dummy when he got there. No, Kansas deserves better. Okay.
Let me ask you this, guys, because this is a thing that I've already been reading already this week. Clearly, of the stuff that is available or we think is going to become available, LSU is the unquestionably the top job. Who, with that assumption, and if you guys disagree with that, feel free to correct me. What is your top 5 jobs that are available that we know of, or including Wisconsin, Florida State, Kentucky, and Auburn? Let's go ahead and include those.
There is I think you could make a case. Mm-hmm. Like the big rumor for Penn State is Matt Rule, which means Nebraska is open.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a whole state behind a program? Nebraska.
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's all in.
And there's a number of different. I mean, Auburn. Hugh Freeze is probably getting fired. Mm-hmm. Auburn is a big job. It's a crazy job. Let's not kid ourselves.
As we have discussed over the years. Yes.
Crazy job. There's one that is sitting there that is going to sound crazy when I say this.
Okay.
And because we've been talking about them on the buffet all year, and that is Texas Tech.
Okay.
Texas Tech is a hot seat situation with the right conditions. The boosters at Texas Tech dumped a ton of money into the football program, getting transfers, NIL deals, all that. They put everything into this year.
Yep.
And right now, Texas Tech is on the outside looking in on the Big 12 championship game because they lost to Arizona State. Now, BYU plays Cincinnati, who are the 2 current leaders in the Big 12 clubhouse right now. The buffet is still very open. Oh, yes, I found the website where I can do all of the Doctor Strange many timeline things. It has been updated. We are good to go. I did check. But if he's fired, if they don't make the Big 12 championship game or they don't make the playoff, yeah, that booster core is coming for him. Oof. Because they said we didn't dump all this money in to go play in the Alamo Bowl.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So this is where we get a little spicy, and then they are going to want to throw a bunch of money at somebody. Like this is where the carousel might go to warp speed. Mm-hmm. The end of November is I might actually have to say, hey, everybody, I gotta sit near my computer for the next day. Nothing for no reason. I'm not watching anything. I'm just hitting refresh. That's it. I remember what year was it? I was at a conference in Vegas. Mm-hmm. I think it was the 22 season. It was the season that Brian Kelly got hired at LSU. I went to a conference in Vegas, and just every day there was some new Brian Kelly got hired to go coach at LSU. What's happening here? And then that was the season Lincoln Riley got hired out of Oklahoma.
That was a crazy one.
That was insane. Mm-hmm. And I just remember I couldn't look away from my phone for the entire week, because of how crazy it got that week. And so I feel like this has potential, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that the House settlement last year was up in the air. That's why you saw a really quiet cycle, and a lot of people kept their jobs because they could. And now you have okay, we now know where this money's going to come from. We know where this is going. Great. Let's get rid of these guys we wanted to get rid of. And so it's about to get crazy, and you have the potential to turn over a quarter of the coaching jobs fairly easily.
Yeah.
Carla, what are your thoughts about this? I mean, what are the best jobs out there?
Well, selfishly
that we know of right now.
Selfishly, I have to say Penn State, just because it's a premier program with booster support. Right.
Support. Upgrading facilities.
Facilities. I mean, and alumni support too. So it's not just boosters. It's alums. They still send out an alumni football newsletter. I don't know if you knew that, which is kind of cool.
No, I didn't.
Paper.
That's cool.
It's actually a pamphlet they send after every game, with a running. It's just one of those cool things they do for alums. So I would put them there. You got to say LSU. There's a history in that
yeah.
program. Like you're going to have a problem kind of rebuilding a little bit there, but like LSU is a good program. Florida is a good program. They're getting money dumped into the swamp, and like that's a premier job. I'm looking at the rest of the list. Maybe an undercard, and call me crazy, but UCLA could be a really good job if you get the right person out there, that can fit into that culture and get the buy-in. Like they just haven't had the right fit out there for a long, long time. And I think if you had the right person in that job, that could be really interesting. Particularly the way that like that's kind of the Big Ten, like Ultra West, right? Like you get that like. That
Big Ten West Ultra.
Like West Ultra.
It's low calorie Big Ten West.
Yes.
Because they all eat salads.
Yes.
All points,
What
no defense.
quinoa and surfing, and
All points, no defense. I don't know. Maybe it's just me thinking that I would like to see UCLA be a better job and be a more competitive team in the big. But looking at this, I mean, if Lane moves, Ole Miss is interesting. I agree with AJ about Nebraska because they've got all kinds of support. Auburn's just a hot mess. You got to be the right person to go to Auburn too.
I feel like the program that is there is like something like Oklahoma State. They got booster money, and they're in the Big 12. They have Texas Tech capabilities like that.
Yeah.
The other one that's sitting there that I'm like the consistent rumor that I keep hearing is Virginia Tech hired Brent Pry because they want to go after Shane Beamer, and I feel like in my heart that's a terrible hire. Not because I think Shane Beamer is a terrible coach. I don't. I think he's actually a very good football coach. I think what he's done in South Carolina is incredible. But he will always be compared to Dad.
Yeah,
right.
He would be flat out insane to take that job just because of the comparisons, and they will never stop.
Your dad has a statue outside the stadium.
Yeah,
like
don't do that.
You want to talk about like the whole Kalen DeBoer? You don't want to be the guy who follows the guy,
right?
Like, do you want to be the son who follows the father? Like, are you kidding me? No. That seems. If I'm Shane, I don't want to touch the Virginia Tech program. I want to speak highly of them in interviews, and that's about it. Like, no. If you value your own self, don't do this.
Dylan and I talked about this. If any ACC team with an opening is smart, they'll go after James Franklin because James Franklin to me feels like an ACC coach. I feel 100%. Like he could absolutely go into the ACC. And the only the serious opening here would be Virginia Tech. I still think, like I said on that show, I still think that if North Carolina opens up, that's your hire. Like North Carolina, go get James Franklin because if anybody can fix your program, it's James Franklin.
What about Florida State?
I don't know if he's a fit in Florida State.
Okay.
The personality clash, because that's the thing about Jimmy. Like he's got a real strong personality, and you got to get the right fan base there. And I don't think Florida State's it. Virginia Tech could be. North Carolina absolutely would be a fit if they decide to let
does feel
Belichick go.
Okay.
And he would look great in powder blue. I don't know.
I think everyone looks good in powder blue.
I think there's James Franklin at Florida State would be a bad hire because
I think so. Yeah.
He's this is the thing I see about James Franklin. He's okay at recruiting. Like he was winning in the DMV, but Ohio State would go take his lunch when they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like if they saw some 5-star kid, I'm blanking on the defensive end. Who's the defensive end they got out of the DMV? He was after the Bosas. I wanted to say Bryce Young, but it's not Bryce Young.
It's Young. It is. He wore number 2.
It was Young,
and
yeah. I'm literally going like number 2, last name Young. Like everything's there. I just can't remember his first name. But he was in the DMV, 5-star defensive end. Ohio State went in and got him.
Chase?
When Penn State owns the rest. Chase Young. That's what it was. When Penn State generally can own the DMV recruiting rights when they want to. But like bigger teams would go in there and fish. So I think that's something I don't think he would do well at Florida State because he's going to have to, one, work the portal a lot. And two, you're in Florida, so now you have to
Florida.
recruit the hell out of Florida. And I don't know if he has that type of relationship system there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Another
that's
interesting
coach
fit.
talk.
Yeah.
I'd say another interesting fit for Jimmy, and we can talk about this later if it opens up. If Kentucky opens up, I think that's an interesting fit for him too. It would get him back in the SEC, but it's like that's kind of his the recruiting area, like from Vanderbilt days.
Okay.
Right. And like I think his vibe fits Kentucky. Would be a complete culture shift from Mark Stoops. And so if that job opens up, that would be interesting, but I still think he belongs in the ACC.
Okay. Okay. Well, obviously, this is all still to come, and we're gonna lose more head coaches, and the fallout. I did not listen to the show. I looked at the doc that AJ shared with us, and 40 is not unreasonable. It is going to be absolutely insane. If we need to do an off-season show this year, chances are that's going to be the subject. Last weekend's games, I'm going to just jump in right here because I did not get to watch a whole lot. I was in Columbus. My sister was there. It was her birthday. It was our friend of the show, Emily's 60th birthday. So I was doing that when we had pizza at the family. I will note that OU beat Eastern, struggled a bit to do so. Carnegie Mellon continues to adjust to its new conference and Centennial Conference. They lost to the Mules of Muhlenberg, dropped to 2-2 in the Centennial and 4-3 overall, which oddly I think is the same record of the team they played this week, but we'll get to that. I watched bits and pieces of other stuff. Wasn't really paying attention, so to offer comments would be kind of dumb. AJ, what did you see that got your attention?
It felt like upset stomach weekend.
Okay.
Like a whole lot of indigestion. Alabama needed a comeback to beat South Carolina / South Carolina let Alabama hang around. That's a real sentence we're saying this year.
Yep.
They let Alabama hang around, and then Alabama beat them with experience and talent.
Yep.
I still think it was crazy to not tackle Jeremy Bernard on the touchdown at the end. It was very clear that like he was instructed to let him score so they could get the ball back. Because they were down by
it was tied. So they went ahead.
Tied.
Yeah.
So basically they were like, we got to like let them score so we can at least get the ball back, because if you let them drag it down to the end, they're going to kick a field goal and win. So letting him score, but it just looked crazy because he put his hands up like this to not push him out of bounds. And it was like, why are you letting him score? And then you realize like, oh, we have to do that. Virginia going to OT against UNC. And losing. Bill Belichick deserves some actual amount of credit here.
I agree.
Because he did the thing we tell everybody to do, which is go for 2 in overtime and win the damn game. But that's they didn't. They did not get the 2-pointer. Who was the other one that I was looking at?
Texas Klanga.
Texas and Mississippi State.
Right.
I watched that game, and I watched Mississippi State just give that game away.
Yep.
They had a 17-point lead on Texas going into the fourth quarter, and Texas scored 17 to tie the game. They tied it on a punt return touchdown, where even the announcers are going, he's dangerous. He returned one for a touchdown last week. You probably don't want to kick it to him, and they kicked it directly to him. And then he ran it back for a score. They tied the game. They go to OT.
Yeah.
And then Texas wins in an OT. And the other game, Carla, what happened to UCLA? I'm sure they like really continued their streak of confidence, right?
They ran into a buzzsaw called the Indiana Hoosiers. Good Lord, that game wasn't even close.
UCLA was not granted any sort of kind words or feelings.
No, it's funny because when that game started, Indiana started the game on like the second play with a pick six. And I said immediately, I was like, oh, this is going to be a Signetti statement game, isn't it? Like immediately thinking about the Illinois game, right?
And you said that immediately.
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, Kurt's got them ready to go. This is going to get ugly fast. And even I didn't think it was going to get that ugly.
Nope.
Yeah, it was interesting. By the way, I do kind of regret not doing the thing I said I was going to do, which was to take my son to a college football game, and I had circled the NC State game
Okay.
as like a game to go to because of like, hey, it's middle of the season. There's not a ton of like NC State fans in Pittsburgh, so it's like, hey, there's probably going to be easy to get tickets, that sort of thing. And I saw tickets that were very available. 87 total points.
Yeah.
Pitt won 53-34. I should have went. It would have been fun.
It would have been. Absolutely.
It was 31-20. It was 31-21 in the first half. So it probably would have been fun. Could have seen a lot of touchdowns. It probably would have been exciting, but it was also cold, so we didn't. Carla, what did you see?
Well, so I have a little bit more of kind of like an overview kind of thing because let's be honest, like the night games were kind of over for the most part pretty early. Like the night games weren't entertaining, not because they were just blowouts, right? Although I will say Mike Elko continues to be the man of halftime adjustments. That coach is a miracle worker. The adjustments that he made at the half to just like put the knife in LSU in Death Valley, 28 unanswered to come out the second half. I mean, yeah, that was impressive. But what I saw was, AJ mentioned kind of all the close games, kind of this like trend that is happening that I've noticed, and we're starting to see some dialogue about it, in that the SEC is becoming more and more like the Big 12 every week. Right? Okay. There are 9 teams in the SEC that are 6-2 overall or better. They're all bunched up, right?
Okay.
Who's good isn't as clear as it used to be. Like it used to be Bama and Georgia and then everybody else. That's not the case anymore, right? And we saw that very clearly last weekend. As AJ already mentioned, Bama had to rally to win over SC. Texas needed overtime to win at Klanga. Vandy and Mizzou battled to a 1-score game. That game was really, really good. Auburn needed a 17-point fourth quarter to beat Arkansas.
Right.
On an interim coach. Right. And then, heck, LSU is 5-3 and fired their head coach. Right? Because at 5-3, they're in 11th place in the SEC behind Florida. That's how bunched up the SEC is, right? Vandy, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, all at the top of the standings, right alongside Bama and Georgia. Right? So you're getting this like bunching, and there's a reason that we're talking about the SEC a lot this year is because those games are becoming more and more interesting. You contrast that with what's happening in the Big Ten.
Right.
You have Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, maybe Iowa, but I don't buy them. Like they've had a couple of really impressive wins, but again, that's me showing my Big Ten West bias. But like we've seen good Iowa go up against Ohio States and Oregon's in the past and just get the brakes blown off of them. So you have those 3, maybe 4 teams, and then everyone else. Like the teams are clustering together in the Big Ten, but it's not towards that like elite national conversation level of play. 10 teams in the Big Ten are 5-3 or worse. Right now, of course, it's fun that you have Indiana in that elite mix this year again, because that's, but Big Ten games really are just like, they're not as unpredictable as the Big 12 or the SEC are. And so like, there's a reason why we spend a lot more time talking about those conferences and less about our beloved Big Ten, because we look at the schedule and go, oh yeah. And the games that are going to be tight aren't consequential the way SEC games are. And, Big Ten games, like, and like, unless you get the big time helmet games, right, your Ohio State versus Oregon, like, and we don't get as many of those as we used to.
We do not. That Ohio State is going through the season without Oregon, without Indiana. It's a little concerning as a fan, because you wonder, okay, where's the test? How does a team prepare for a tight game? And it's. Those opportunities in the Big Ten this year are unfortunately few and far between.
I just opened the Doctor Strange machine.
Yes.
And I put a fun scenario in there.
Okay.
So Oregon obviously lost to Indiana already, right? And But let's pretend that Indiana somehow loses a game, and their remaining schedule is Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin. They're off the week before the Purdue game, or they're playing a non-Big Ten game that week. But let's pretend they lose a game in there somewhere. In fact, Carla, I'm just going to do this for you. They lose to Penn State. No reason why, but they do. And Crappy, let's pretend that school up north gets another one.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay? What that does is it puts... I'm interested to see how this one works because right now it says the Big Ten standings, based on what I just did, puts Oregon and Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game. Even though Indiana has the tiebreaker over Oregon, but because they're all 8-1, it has above Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio State based on conference opponent winning percentage, and Ohio State with Indiana and Michigan below Oregon based on conference opponent win percentage. So basically, it goes like it literally is a who's played somebody tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But I just ran it again, and when I ran it again to recalculate it, I had Penn State I had Indiana losing to Purdue, and that's what it was, because the conference win percentage changes because then Indiana loses to Purdue, who's not good, versus Penn State, who's better than not good. I'm sorry, Carla. That's how it goes.
No, it's
and it puts Michigan into
we don't have a quarterback anymore, so yeah, no,
Right.
we're not good.
And it puts Oregon in because Indiana's conference opponent win percentage is not very good. They played Oregon. They beat Oregon, and then they played the bottom of the Big Ten. So it's interesting to see how these tiebreakers start to shake out. But yeah, I think there's a very high possibility that Indiana and Ohio State finish both undefeated, and that's it. Like, it's very, very possible.
Yeah.
It's weird, for sure. Certainly a different scenario. And it to do this without like one of the traditional powers. I said this, and you guys have heard me say this. When Michigan was struggling with Brady Hoke and Rich Rod, the Big Ten is diminished when its traditional powers, any conference. The Big Ten is diminished when Michigan is not good. This season, the Big Ten is diminished because Penn State is not the power that it generally almost always is, and that's led to two different kind of odd things. Number one, we don't have Ohio State, Penn State in our big boy rundown. And Carla, Christ, that's why that game is why we started the show.
It was.
So we would talk about this.
And we've done entire episodes just on that game. I was going through looking we actually it was 8 years ago now that the entire episode was just Ohio State Penn State. We did not do any other game because
do you remember the year? Do you remember the year? It was two of us, and we had to
argue the other side.
I had to explain why Penn State was going to win the football game, and you had to explain why
Ohio State was going to win. Yeah.
That's actually clever. I love that.
It was fun.
It was fun. It was hard as hell.
really, really was. But it is. The other weird thing is that this is the last time they're going to play for I think 3 years.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is crazy. It's a difficult thing for me to fathom. And Carla, I'm curious about what you think about this. But in a lot of ways, since Penn State joined the conference, this has been the game. Right? This has been just reading up on this. Kelly Kay, a friend of the show, sent me a column from Ben Jones about this very topic, and it got me. I started looking up stuff. College Game Day has highlighted since Penn State. Since Penn State joined the Big Ten, College Game Day has highlighted this game more times than any other rivalry, including Ohio State, Michigan, including Alabama, Auburn, including whatever rivalry you want to make. They've done it 13 times. No one else is close. Since 1993, this I looked up on my own. 21 times, Ohio State, Penn State has been a ranked on ranked game. Only 19 times. I am fond of saying Ohio State, Michigan is the most consequential rivalry in the country. No, since 1993, that matchup has been ranked on ranked 19 times. Ohio State, Penn State is the game, and has been since Penn State joined the conference. But Carla, what do you think about when we're not talking about it this week, which is odd, and then we're not going to have the opportunity to talk about it for the next couple of years,
unless by some miracle Penn State decides to get good again and we meet in a title game. That's the only chance that we will have or we meet in a playoff at some point. It's weird, and that's something that it's not just. I mean, it feels personal this time because it's our rivalry and it's the reason we started the show. But it's not just this rivalry, right? We talked about this last week about the SEC and how they only protected, when the SEC did their schedules, they only protected 3 rivalries. And you have some of these classic games like Florida, Tennessee not being played next year, right? And like these longtime rivalry games are going away because of the size of the conferences, because they have to, because you have too many teams. And I think it's something that we're losing. I mean, we talk about it, backyard brawl, the Penn State pit, which should be put into the state constitution so that they have to play. I agree with that. Like those classic rivalry games that make college football the amazing sport that it is, they're going away. They're not as permanent as they used to be. They are much more temporary. They are much more fleeting at the whims of schedule makers. And it's to the detriment of the sport. I really think that. I mean, I as much as these mega conferences are intriguing, like you're advancing the scope, but losing your soul. Is what it feels like. Like these regional rivalries were the soul of the sport. It's what made it fun. It's what made the rivalries fun. And I'll be honest, it sucks. I mean, it probably the timing actually ends up working out pretty well in my favor, my fandom favor, right? Because it's going to take a couple years for Penn State to rebuild after everything that's gone on this year. And so maybe by the time we see you again in 2028, we'll actually have, a legitimate game to talk about again. Maybe we'll get a ranked unranked, but yeah, it's just not going to be the same. It's the same thing. Like the last 2 years, there's not been a Land Grant Trophy.
Yeah,
Greatest trophy in all of college football. There's no Land Grant Trophy. Second greatest because of Floyd Rosedale.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
thank you.
Floyd Rosedale, and then Land Grant. Gone.
Yeah.
We get it back next year.
I think I think though that some of this is just the conference decisions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
absolutely,
they could have said Ohio State, Penn State is a protected rivalry. They could have said that basically every conference who does any sort of conference expansion like this, I was stunned when they said, oh no, Penn State doesn't have any protected rivals. What are you talking about? Penn not protecting Ohio State, Penn State. You mean the game that ESPN put on at 7:30 p.m. or 8 p.m., whatever their night game of the week was when they had the Big Ten contract? You mean that one? That game?
That one.
The one that is going to be played as Big Noon Saturday till the end of time, and not in a whiteout game that Penn State fans are very mad about, and rightfully so.
Yes.
You mean what do you mean that's not a protected rivalry?
Yeah.
That felt to me like we don't want to have any one team have multiple crazy rivalries. But I'll be really honest, other than Ohio, no disrespect to Ohio State or Michigan, but who else does Ohio State have on that rivalry list that even remotely touches what the Ohio State-Penn State rivalry is?
Right.
Yeah.
And people outside of this area, especially Western PA, Eastern Ohio, where the fan bases start to overlap, don't understand that these two schools actually don't like each other.
Yeah.
As you guys have mentioned many, many times, it's an uncomfortable late October Saturday because you have to watch your two teams crappy. No matter how good Ohio State is, you're always worried that here comes Penn State to put you through a meat grinder on a Saturday afternoon or evening. And no matter how bad Penn State is, you know that how good Ohio State is, Penn State's going to make them hurt for a whole Saturday at a minimum. That was the sort of thing where it's like, if you take away those types of rivalries, this is the season you get. You get Ohio State going through the season where it's like, okay, cool. They might play one of the other helmet schools, USC, Oregon, whoever, and then they play Michigan at the end of the season. And there's no test in the middle. Right. So who knows? They're undefeated. And so, like, I get some of the overall math because it feels like, hey, we want to make sure that our name brand programs are in the playoff and making sure that they play nothing but, like, Northwestern and Rutgers the entire season works. But come on, man. That's not how this works. I actually think Indiana in particular has broken the conference. Because you can't just say like, okay, well, Ohio State's going to play Northwestern and Purdue and Indiana and Rutgers, and oh look, they're in the playoff. Nope, Indiana's going to come through and take your knees off. Caps first. Yes. So this is the sort of thing where it's like, the conference needs to actually fix that one. That one is an easy fix. It's just, hey, congratulations, Penn State, Ohio State is a protected rivalry. They're going home and home every other year. We're just going to do that because the fans demanded it or the schools demanded it. And the schools, by the way, can do that. Reminder that the conference is made up of the conference presidents. They can say, hey, we want this game to happen. And every other Big Ten team should be licking their chops at Penn State and Ohio State playing each other because that's like deciding and actively going to play each other because it gives them the opportunity to have a one conference loss or one conference loss Ohio State or a one conference loss Penn State almost guaranteed on that schedule. So like if I'm the president of, I don't know, Northwestern, and a lot of things I have to think about other than football, but that sort of thing of like, oh, hey, you want me to sign off on Ohio State and Penn State playing each other? Go around on that, bud.
Where's my pen? Where's
my DocuSign? Yeah. Bring me my finest DocuSign.
I mean, my only hope for this final, I'm using air quotes because I'm hoping it's not the final meeting until 2028.
Right.
I hope that by some miracle we're playing each other for some reason in 27. I don't think we'll play each other next year.
That'd be awesome.
That this Saturday afternoon, the Penn State defense can make it slightly uncomfortable. They're not going to have the offense to be able to score the points that they need, but I'm hoping that the Penn State defense can make the game at least a little bit more than a speed bump for Ohio State.
My father is terrified about this game. I will tell you
if we still had Drew Aller at quarterback, I would say that's warranted. But
even with that, he's like they are gonna play the best game of the year, and I don't doubt it. But
I don't either, but I just don't think you have to have a quarterback to make that offense work. Because otherwise, if you're just running the ball, like I know that we have a two-headed running back, but like still, when you know they're going to run the football, it makes it easier to defend. So I'm hoping that the Penn State defense, like I said, can make this an interesting game. But let's say this: I don't think Ohio State covers because that line is huge.
I agree.
I think Ohio State wins a football game. I hope that they don't cover. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the game is close at the half.
Okay.
But
dear Big Ten Conference, on behalf of our respective fan bases, we hereby demand that Ohio State Penn State be designated a protected rivalry. We have a third party, AJ.
That's me.
A neutral observer in this instance. He's demanding the same. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm demanding what I'm demanding here is a return to like truly insane football. And by the way, Penn State, while you're at it, go schedule Pitt and stop being a bunch of cowards. Big Ten and Penn State, stop being cowards.
Please, let's do it.
But yeah,
we have
this. By the way, since we're not putting Ohio State, Penn State on the slate, we definitely have not put it on the slate in any way, shape, or form. We have not talked about that game at all. we have any other games to talk about? We have a lot of games to get through.
As we spend more time talking about Ohio State, Penn State than we would have had it been on the slate.
Hey,
AJ,
existential crisis.
To get through. We need to get moving, friends.
We do.
Existential crisis happen. It's okay. It's fine.
Group of 5 after dark. The lineup is nuts. We have a full Big 12 buffet, and then we have big board games to talk about. So let's get started with those.
Lightning round, friends. Let's go.
AJ.
All right. Here we go. Speaking of lightning, noon, Army at Air Force on CBS. The network that's actually nationally broadcast, not that the other one. Army favored by 1.5. The fun index is 49.5.
Beautiful. God bless America.
This is, listen, I'm not a deep troop respecter, but I respect that fun index on an option game. That's what I respect. All right. Air Force's defense is bad. There's no two ways around this. Army put Tulane into a pretzel and required one of the more insane catches I've seen in a while for Tulane to get a win there. I'm sorry, Air Force. That line's not big enough. I'm gonna go ahead and take Army here. Go Army, beat Air Force. Crappy, who you got?
Go Army. All day, every day.
I was to say you had to ask.
Yeah. Listen, I asked the question so that it's at least noted on the record.
If Crappy picked against Army, I was going to need something more to drink than this.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's got to be Army. Air Force is like their quarterback. Like it's like Zarka, and like that's their offense, right? Mm-hmm. Like he does everything. So you stop him, Army wins. Yeah, Army.
Also, speaking of the troops, also at noon, and this game is set to be a capital B banger.
Yes.
Navy at North Texas on ESPN2. North Texas favored by 6.5. The fun index is a very healthy 63.5.
Beautiful.
We almost put this in the big boy slate. I'll be honest. This is effectively for like the lead in the American Conference.
Yeah.
The winner of this game has a pretty straightforward path to the American Athletic Conference Championship game. And I have a feeling that even though they are fully landlocked, the boys in Denton are going to get into a boat race with Navy and win. Not a lot of bodies of water around, so the boats are much smaller. I have a feeling that Denton.
Bass boats? Would they know? They would know a bass boat. I think that would be.
Oh yeah, Navy got all kinds of boats, big boats, little boats, all kinds of boats. Yeah. But I think this is where they will run out of experience on rivers. Navy's not a river place; they're an ocean place. Mm-hmm. So like rivers are Coast Guard territory. Mm-hmm. They don't deal with that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and take North Texas here. Carla, who you got?
This one's tough. It's an interesting game because I have fandom alliances with both teams, right? I know I actually know somebody who is attending North Texas right now. She's in the marching band. So I root for North Texas, but you all know my loyalties to Navy here. So that's a challenging thing. Navy's big challenge here is going to be stopping that mean green passing attack. Because Navy's secondary, not great.
Nope.
But I think... AJ, I think you're right, but I'm still going to pick Navy anyway because I hold stronger allegiances to Navy. So, middies, reluctantly.
I would be absolutely so stoked to have a service academy in the playoff, and Navy is in a position to accomplish that. But I don't think they have the talent to keep up. With North Texas. Hi, kid, stay out of my ginger ale, will you? I would love it. I would love it. And Navy's sitting there on top of the American right now, but I think North Texas is going to win this.
At 3 p.m. on the mountainwest.com, we have New Mexico at UNLV. UNLV favored by 5.5. The fun index also a fun 62.5. The only thing I put here in my notes was wee because this is a fireworks factory fire. Mm-hmm. That's what this is. This is a points explosion. New Mexico went to Boise, found out what the blue turf looked like. It was very blue, and then they lost. UNLV found out the same thing too. Now they get to play each other. Both of these teams are very, very fun. There's a reason that fun index is 62.5. I'm taking UNLV at home here. They're very, very good at home. New Mexico has been struggling. They started the season pretty hot. They're cooling down a little bit, but this should be super fun. You're gonna have to figure out a way to put this on a device of some sort. You can watch. This is a Mountain West game you can watch on the TV, not just on your phone.
Okay.
But I'm taking you on a beat at home here. Crappy, who you got?
The Fightin' Lannings are going to win this one at home. And Florida's going to rehire Dan Lanning at the end of the season.
You mean Dan Mullen?
Mullen, thank you.
Listen, if Florida pulled off hiring Dan Lanning, that'd be amazing.
That actually would be quite the move. But I mean,
it would be.
Yeah.
New Mexico's won 2 straight. UNLV is legit good. Rebels at home. Also, a quick MACtion update.
Please.
UTEP's run it all the way back. They now lead Kennesaw 17-16 in the third quarter. That would be huge in CUSA. I'll keep my eye on it.
Okay.
Listen, if Kennesaw wins, they're bowl eligible.
Yeah.
And also they're out of the window, so they can actually go to a bowl game. So hooty hoot, let's go Owls.
Nice.
At 3:30, by the way, we're covering most of the Mountain West. There's only one game I don't have on the schedule here. Fresno State at Boise State on FS1. Boise's favored by 17.5. The fun index is 51.5. I will always put a Fresno game on. I don't know why.
You have a
but
thing.
I just want.
You've
I'm
had a
doing
thing
this
for a
just
long
to.
time.
I'm putting this out here just for just a key thing. Hawaii should have beaten Fresno. They should have won that game. They didn't, and I'm mad about it. And Boise, do me a favor, take it out on them, please. Fresno looked real bad at home. They got drubbed by San Diego State, and I don't think that Boise is going to treat them any nicer. I'm taking the Smurfs. Crappy, you got?
I can't. It's really, really tough to beat the Smurfs on the blue turf. I'm going with Boise here.
Yeah, Fresno's reeling. Boise at home.
Also at 3:30 on ESPN2, Virginia taking a little flight. They're going to play Cal because this is an ACC classic matchup. This is on ESPN2. Virginia's favored by 3.5. Fun index is 54.5. We're not going to call this game. I'm just saying eyeballs on this one.
Okay.
I said eyeballs last week on what game was it? Was it Texas Mississippi State? Did I say it on that one?
That might have been.
I think it was Texas Mississippi State. I said it on last week's episode. Like, hey, you might want to keep an eye on this game. Alabama South Carolina. That's what it was.
That's what it was. It was Alabama South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm just saying.
Can I just throw this out into the universe? We need to really start talking about a possible Virginia Georgia Tech ACC title game.
Yeah.
Because that's a legit thing. So we need to start thinking about that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably happening. By the way, if either one of those teams loses a game, you know who's sitting right there? Pitt.
Yeah.
Pitt's 4-1 in the ACC right now. Just throwing that out there. Just up in the air.
I mean, another one of those wacky years where they end up they back their way into a title game.
Yeah, and playing pretty well.
Yeah.
I love that for them. But it's 7:30. This is my personal game of the week. On CBS proper, broadcast into your living rooms. Put the music on it and everything. Favored by 3.5. It is your Washington State Cougars. That's right. It's game 1 of the Pac-12 championship game.
And this could work out to be like a actual Pac-12 preview, championship preview.
It is also the championship game.
And then also, yes.
Because if you didn't know this, Washington State and Oregon State are playing a home and home this season. They're playing each other as a home and home. So this one is at Oregon State. So it's Washington State at Oregon State. The fun index here is 49.5. Get hype. Put this game on. Make sure this game is on your TV. Are either of these teams good? No. But you know who just won? Who beat the top of the MAC? That's right, Washington State. They beat Toledo 28-7. I think Washington State's figuring things out. Oregon State, here's a fun stat for you. Their quarterback, Malik Murphy, leads the nation in quarterback punts with 4. So in case you're wondering how Oregon State season's going.
Okay.
Malik Murphy, you transferred from Duke to Oregon State. Now you're kicking punts. So
nice.
Sorry, Beavs. Washington State. Mike, who you got here?
Wazoo.
One of these teams has to win. I think it's going to be Wazoo.
I am excited for a tied Pac-2 championship. It's really what I'm excited
So
about.
If each home team wins, did they meet a third time to settle this for the?
No.
Can we
it's
just arrange something at a high school, like halfway between the two? And
no, because this is Baylor TCU 2014, where like they both won the title.
Okay.
And that's when the Pac-12 will institute a championship game.
Okay.
just for the sake of the two of them. Also at 7:30, Kentucky at Auburn. Don't do this. It's on the SEC network. Don't put that network on. Don't do this. I love you. I love your mental health. You don't need to watch that game. I promise. You want to watch two teams who have quit on their coaches, quit on each other? You can do that. You don't. At 8 p.m., a better game to watch. Arkansas State, Arkansas State at Troy. Troy's favored by 7.5. Fun index of 54.5. This is a clash of Sun Belt Titans. Both of these teams are at the top of the Sun Belt Conference. Please watch this instead of Kentucky Auburn. I'm going to go ahead and take Troy. I think Troy is where seasons go to die, y'all. Like you go play Troy at Troy, it's going to be a bad time for you. Carla, who you got here?
This game, like based on recent results and common opponents, this game could be a lot closer than it appears. But I think I agree. I like Troy at home.
I have seen Troy play in person more than once, and the culture of the program is we have no fear. We will play anybody, anytime. The fact that this game is at home, it makes that decision easy. This is Troy is the pick here.
And finally, a wonderful nightcap for me. It's Hawaii at San Jose State. My beloved Bows, my bowl-eligible Bulls. Sorry. Go Bulls.
Go.
This is on CBSSN, the network of
Champions.
That's right. San Jose State's favored by 2.5. The fun index is 56.5. Stats don't care. Stats don't matter. Go Bows. But I need to tell a quick story.
Please.
Picture it. It's the early 1940s. You, San Jose State, have decided that you are going to go play a postseason game in Hawaii. And not only have you decided to go play a postseason game in Hawaii, this is the early Shrine Bowl. And you're not just playing it with you're actually bringing another school with you, Willamette College. And in the process of this, you go out and you got to take, because there's no planes at the time, it's the early 1940s, so you have to take a boat. And you're leaving, it's Willamette University, to go play in the Shrine Bowl. And you take a boat, and you get there, and you play your first game. The boat ride was not very fun. In fact, most people threw up the entire way there. They didn't get their sea legs. In fact, one person said, when I stood on the dock, I still felt sick. And then they played a football game. Hawaii won the game. And that was December 6th.
Oh.
It was 1941. And on December 7th is Pearl Harbor. At which point, the San Jose State Spartans football team gets pulled into duty with the Honolulu Police Department to protect the island of Hawaii from Japanese amphibious attack, along with Willamette University, who was on the boat with them. And so all of these kids who went to go play a lovely postseason bowl game got drug into World War II. They were on the island for multiple weeks. They left. Most of them left.
You're not leaving anytime soon.
No. Most of them were on the island until December 19th. But 7 of the San Jose State players stayed behind and enlisted in the Navy. And then one of them later on, who was hold on, I need to pull this person's name because it's one of the more insane parts of the story. Where is it? So another 7 of the players would remain in Hawaii after their teammates went home. An 8th Spartan player would be talked out of literally staying at the last minute. Okay. He gets on the boat. Center and co-captain Robert Hamill would see action in 3 wars, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, plus the Berlin airlift in 1948.
Holy crap.
Another player, German-born Hans Weidenhofer, he joins the Navy after Pearl Harbor. He was at Iwo Jima the day they hoisted the flag on Iwo Jima. Willamette freshman Glenn Norquist, on volunteer patrol in Hawaii with World War I era gear and weaponry, would have an epiphany, quit football, become a minister. In 1951, he would meet Mitsu Fuchida, a former Japanese pilot who led the first wave of planes on Pearl Harbor. So there. This is the history of Hawaii and San Jose State. It goes all the way back to the 30s and early 40s.
Wow.
And I just wanted to bring that little bit of lore. And I appreciate them for all their service. But go Bows. They're going to win. Crappy, who you got here?
Willamette University is who I'm picking.
That's right.
Bows at home. Yes.
AJ,
Carl.
I agree with you. Vegas doesn't know what to do with your beloved Bows. That line is dumb. Bows on the mainland.
That's right. And finally, it's time to open it up, y'all. It's buffet time.
Hope you're hungry.
Yes.
Anybody hungry? Because I'm starting with West Virginia at Houston at noon on FS1. Houston's favored by 15.5. Fun index is 49.5. We don't need to talk very long about this. Houston's going to win. WVU is it's leprosy at this point. Carla, who you got?
Yeah, sorry, ears.
Cougs.
At noon, UCF at Baylor on ESPNU. Baylor's favored by 4.5. The fun index is 60.5. This is an interesting game to me because I feel like both of these teams don't know what they want to be. But this is a crab bucket as well. Neither one of them is very good. So, hey, the middle of the pack, just put this one on. Who knows what'll happen? I'm going to go ahead and pick UCF on the road. I don't know why. Just feels right. Crap, who you got?
The Bears of Waco will win this game at home.
Carla, who you got?
UCF has the top pass defense in the Big 12. Baylor's terrible at defending the run. Sure, UCF and a bit of an upset.
The biggest game that is not ranked, in my opinion at least, at 1 p.m. on TNT, your home for college football, Arizona State at Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 4.5. The fun index is 50.5. And I just want to do one quick thing because I need to see this. It's not on the list, but yes, it'll be 46 and sunny. Hey, Arizona State, you're going to need sleeves. Iowa State wins. Carla, who you got?
Yeah, Iowa State really needs to stop the bleeding here. They've lost 3 straight. Sam Leavitt hasn't quite been the same since he returned from post-injury, and reports out today indicate he's going to miss Saturday due to aggravating that same injury. So I'll take Iowa State at home here too.
Yeah.
The weather is a very real thing. Iowa in late fall, winter. Yeah, cyclones.
You will be suffering from a vitamin D deficiency, Arizona State. I'm sorry about that. At 3:30 p.m., a game that I thought was going to be a bit of a blowout until last week, your number 13 Texas Tech Red Raiders head to Manhattan, Kansas to play Kansas State. This is on Fox. The line, Texas Tech favored by 7.5. The fun index is 53.5. And we were all incredibly wrong about Kansas State, weren't we, folks?
Yes, we were.
We were.
I am very interested in this game because if they can perform like that against Kansas, Texas Tech might have a bit of a problem. I think this is going to be a real squirrely game for them. By the way, if they lose this game, they're out of the Big 12 championship game, like fully. Like you can't lose 2 games in this conference and make the championship game. It just doesn't happen. I'm still going to take Texas Tech here. I think they know that. I still think they're a wildly better team than Kansas State, but I think Kansas State makes this a real stomach ache of a game. Okay. Crappy, who you got here?
That's why Kansas State is so frustrating because the ability is there. We've seen them. That it's in their history too. I just think Tech has too much. Even if they're on the road, this is a win for Tech.
Yeah, that was a rivalry game for K-State. Like we need to remember that. Like that was a rivalry game. Yeah. They got up for the rivalry game on the road. Can they keep that up 2 weeks in a row? They haven't been able to do that so far this season. I still think Texas Tech is at the top of the Big 12 for a reason. I think they figure out a way to win this on the road.
At 4 p.m. on ESPN Plus. This is Barrett on ESPN Plus. It's for your health and mine. Oklahoma State at Kansas. Kansas is favored by 24.5. The fun index is 57.5.
Oh,
This has been put on ESPN Plus for your health and safety, folks. Kansas wins. Sorry.
yes.
Oklahoma State win would be the most hilarious thing ever, but yeah,
Ain't happening.
no.
If I see that on the scoreboard, if I see, hey, not even upset alert. I'm not calling it an upset alert, but I'm looking at this game. If I see it close, I'm putting it on. But it's on ESPN Plus to keep it away from the masses. At 7 p.m., Arizona at Colorado, FS1. Arizona's favored by 4.5. The fun index is 53.5. Did anybody stay up like I did and watch the entire Arizona or the entire Colorado Utah game?
I did.
Fell
not.
asleep at the half.
You didn't miss anything. I'll say that. At one point, hold on, I took a screenshot of it because it was so, like, I guess the word I would use here is painful. But this is in the first half. At one point, Colorado had negative 18 total yards.
Okay.
How many do you think Utah had at this point in the half? This is towards the end of the second half.
Towards the end of the second quarter, you mean?
Second quarter, yes.
Yeah. Like 200.
Yeah, I was going to say it was 180-ish, somewhere in there.
It's adorable. It was 396 yards.
Oh,
They
okay.
turned Colorado into a fine paste. Like that type. You know that you ever have like really fancy mashed potatoes where they're too smooth?
Yes.
That's what they got turned into. Time of possession, by the way, Colorado had the ball for 11 minutes and 27 seconds and had negative 18 yards to show for it. It was out of control. What was the other stat? At one point it was negative 8 yards. It was 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, and they had negative 8 yards, which means they lost another 10 yards after that. It was real bad, and you didn't miss anything in the second half. Colorado eventually got some points against B team players, but yeah, I got Arizona winning big here. This is in Colorado, so it's a little bit more of a advantageous environment for them, but I'm going to go ahead and take Arizona here.
Okay. A bear down. Colorado has Deion's got some work to do before he gets the program back to even to where it was last year. Arizona wins.
My notes here just simply say Colorado's momentum swings, not for the faint of heart. Even though Arizona's lost 2 in a row, they've been close. Arizona on the road.
Felt a burp coming on there. And finally,
well, it is the buffet.
Yes, it's listen.
And we're towards the end
full.
of the buffet.
I couldn't possibly have another. Oh no, hold on. We're at the carving station now, kids. Number 17 Cincinnati at number 24 Utah at 10:15 p.m. on ESPN. Utah favored by 7.5. Fun index is 57.5. This is your game. This is your Big 12 game of the weekend,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and it's going to be on at 10:15 tonight. And nobody's going to see it except for me. I'm watching the whole thing because my beloved Bows are on at the same time. Cincinnati, Utah, Hawaii, San Jose State quad box. Let's go. I am going to take Utah at home here. Big travel for Cincinnati. Utah's at home. They may have found a second quarterback. Devin Dampier did not play in the Colorado game, by the way. Right. He was hurt. And they had Bird Ficklin. Byrd Ficklin, Ficklin, Bird Ficklin, and he had an absolutely insane stat line. He had like 150 yards rushing in the first half as a quarterback, and also had almost 200 yards passing. Like it was kind of insane. I'm going to take Utah at home here. They got up for the Colorado game and didn't even need to. It was like a warm up. So I expect Cincinnati to have a pretty loud environment to come into. Carla, who you got here?
Well, they were just coming off of the Holy War loss, so they had an axe to grind. So that makes sense there. But no, I like Utah here too. That defense is nasty. And Utah likes to run the ball a whole lot. Guess who's not great at defending the run?
Is it Cincinnati?
That would be Cincinnati, and it's a home game after dark. Yeah, Utes.
I am starting to see cocky Cincinnati fans talk about who's the best team in the state of Ohio. This has happened before.
What?
I am not lying. This is Ohio State's quarterback is suspect. So I have that. That obviously influences my rooting interest. I will step back from that as a professional, I guess, podcaster. Utah defense, rushing game, home at night is going to win this game. And then we can talk about who has the best football team in the state of Ohio. Okay. That is a mess of games to watch between G5 After Dark and the buffet, and even that alone means it would be a great weekend. But boys and girls,
16 games in case you were counting.
that is not all. That is not all. We have the big boy slate that we're going to talk to. These games are all on Saturday. We begin at noon. Not in Columbus, but in Austin, Texas. Number 9 Vanderbilt, your number 9 Vanderbilt Condors, bowl eligible, and we have loftier aspirations for the Doors. They are playing Texas, number 20 Longhorns. Texas is favored by 2.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 45.5. Eek. AJ, how's this one going to
go? I gotta be really honest. I'm taking Vandy outright, not even close.
Bam.
There was something about watching Texas last week. Like they have no juice on offense.
Right.
Like you got Arch, he's there and he's like mostly okay, but he's not the like savior quarterback everybody wanted him to be.
And we should note, we don't even know if they have Arch this weekend.
This weekend, right?
Because he's Sark said yesterday, Monday, the day before we taped, that he is in concussion protocol. So don't even know about that.
And he didn't even throw the game-winning touchdown for Texas.
No,
correct. The backup did.
Correct.
Yeah.
I am interested to see. This is like Vandy's probably truest test because they've had all of their big games at home. They did have the Bama game as well.
Yeah.
But this is a game where I think they are favored on the road, and I don't care. I'm taking Diego over everybody. Like, if Diego Pavia is playing this game, I'm taking. I can't go against Diego. You're crazy. Give me Vandy.
Okay, Carla, what do you think?
The Doors do have their work cut out for them here because that Texas defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really good against the run. And as I talked about last week, and we saw it in the Missouri game, Vanderbilt relies on the run to get their offense going, right? Yep. They are run first, and then everything opens up for them. That's going to be a really tough ask against that really, really good Texas defense. But as we just talked about, that Texas offense leaves a lot to be desired. And, you know, even if Arch plays, right, Arch's stats look reasonably normal when you look at his, like, season numbers, right? You're like, oh, okay. Until you look and see that nearly 350 of his yards came last week in overtime, right? He's only been averaging, like, somewhere between 150 and 175 yards per game. Like, that's not your elite quarterback type of statistic, right? And as we just mentioned, he's in concussion protocol. We don't know whether or not he's going to play. I'm sticking with the Doors. I especially with the uncertainty surrounding Arch at the moment. But I will say this: remember those old SEC games with the low scoring? Mm-hmm. Hammer the heck out of that under, because that Texas defense is really, really good, and the Texas offense isn't going to do much. Mm-hmm. That it's going to be a low scoring game, but I think Vandy gets the win on the road.
Here's what's going on with Vanderbilt. That is an experienced team, and they know how to win games. And that sounds like a simple, easy thing to say, but it's not, and it's not an automatic thing. They proved this last weekend in a rock fight with Missouri Tigers. They had to scramble. They had to be opportunistic. And it came down to the end, and they did it. They know how to do it. They were in a tight game against LSU. They acquitted themselves well in Tuscaloosa. I think with or without Arch Manning, the Doors are capable of going into Austin and winning this game outright. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Vanderbilt's run is going to continue. And we can talk about what that's going to mean for the SEC as we get down to it. Also at noon on ESPN, number 10 Miami at Southern Methodist University. The Hurricanes are favored by 12.5. The AJ Fund Index is 50.5. Carla, how's this going to go?
Call this a gut instinct.
Okay.
I think Miami had its slip up for the season.
Okay.
Right. Yes, playing on the road is always a challenging task. And SMU made headlines again because they beat Clemson, right? And so that was that score that got everybody's attention. But after beating Clemson, SMU lost at Wake last weekend. Like, that's not a great look. So, like, how does that even happen? Wake has the top passing defense in the conference in the ACC. Miami is third. The Canes got right and blew out Stanford. I was really hoping for a Stanford Pasha because Stanford was in that game early, and then Miami was like, oh, yeah, we remember how to play football now, and just absolutely shut that door very, very quickly. SMU is dead last in the ACC in pass defense. Miami's going to win this game on the road.
What you got?
I am also going to take Miami here. SMU is not what we saw last year. They're fine. They're 5-3. They're not undefeated. I'm going to take Miami here on the road. It brings me no joy to say that, to be honest. Like, sure. I would love to see. I would love to see SMU win this game. Mm-hmm. I would like to look at the scoreboard at like 1:30 on Saturday and go, maybe that would be fun. I would enjoy that. But I think Miami wins here.
Carla, your point about Miami having its one game, and that seems like has been a thing with Mario. There's a game where they're just not quite there. I feel like they've done that, and outside of that, that's a really good team. I'm not super convinced that Carson Beck is the quarterback that they were hoping for, but he's good enough. He's good enough to run that offense, and I think they will handle their business in Dallas on Saturday. 3:30 p.m. on the American Broadcasting Company, the world's largest cocktail party, which makes it seem like it might be a fun time for Florida fans. Georgia, number 5 Georgia versus unranked Florida. The Bulldogs are favored. I forget how to scroll my computer screen. 7.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 50.5. AJ, how's this going to go?
This game every year. Mm-hmm. This is actually a proper rivalry game where like it doesn't always entirely matter. Like last year, they almost beat Georgia.
Yep.
Right.
Like until DJ Lagway gets hurt, they were in the lead and they were putting Georgia into a pretzel. Mm-hmm. This game is why Billy Napier got fired when he did. Mm-hmm. Because Billy Napier got fired after the Mississippi State game, which they won, but they had a bye week this week, which means they didn't want to let him coach the Georgia game and potentially win the game and keep his job. I'm still taking Georgia here. And in fact, this is a interesting situation because it's next year, I believe, that the game will not be in Georgia or will not be in Jacksonville. It will be in Atlanta next year because they are, I believe they're doing renovations to Jacksonville Stadium. Okay. So it was something where I saw like the new, I was like looking at it and I was like, wait, what do you mean you're playing the game? No, cocktail parties in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. You keep that in Duval. That's where that's supposed to stay. Yes. It's a containment field. Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say Georgia comes in and wins. That seems pretty straightforward, but I could see Florida because they're coming off of a bye week with an interim coach and no film on what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. Like all their tendencies are gone because the head coach is gone. Yeah. So I could see that potentially being sorry, Carla, a UCLA situation where, hey, you have a brand new play calling because, hey, whatever, man, we're going to play. We're going to try and win football games. We have nothing to lose. Let's go. So I'm still going to take Georgia here. They're the better team.
Carla, what do you think?
I will take everything AJ just said and raise you this. This should be a Georgia win. I agree. But it's the cocktail party. Here's a fun wrinkle. Read this from, again, cite your sources, kids. Joey Knight at the Tampa Bay Times. Interim Florida head coach, Billy Gonzalez, is not going to call his own plays. He has named quarterback coach Ryan O'Hara the play caller.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the quarterback coach who knows Lagway as the play caller. Okay. That's the first wrinkle. Okay. So O'Hara is going to go to the coach's booth to serve as the OC, which means that an offensive analyst is coming to the sideline to communicate directly with DJ Lagway. That analyst's name? Steve Spurrier Jr.
No. No.
So we have Lagway's guy calling the plays and a Spurrier on the sideline. What the heck? The SEC is dumb. Give me chaos. Give me Florida.
I love this. I love this so much. I almost want to change my pick. I didn't know Spurrier Jr.'s on the sidelines.
Pardon me while I erase all of my notes.
While you're erasing all your notes, I just wanted to point this out. Yes, Everbank Stadium is going through major renovations.
Okay.
So the next 2 cocktail parties next year is in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz. 2027 will be at Raymond James in Tampa.
Okay, that's fair. Okay.
So they're effectively doing like a neutral site home and home.
Yeah,
which is a wild thing to say. Just play the games on campus, you cowards. Just play the games on campus. Do a home and home.
There is that.
Well, but the Swamp's going to be under renovations too. So
that's true.
Tallahassee, maybe?
Oh my God! Oh, I'm sorry. I felt that in my bones.
Just a suggestion.
Georgia, Florida, in Tallahassee. Oh God. Oh, my ribs just changed. I don't know what that is, but they changed.
If any of my nephews and nieces hear this, they're not going to be happy about that suggestion. I got a Spurrier on the sidelines.
I know.
No
we talked about
tendencies.
this last week. We literally talked about this last week when Napier got fired about how the Florida fans are nostalgic for the days of Steve Spurrier. Here you go.
Gators win this game. That's all there is to it. It's going to happen. It is predestined. It is going to happen, and we'll have to start talking about the SEC buffet next week because the conference is going to be a mess. At 7:30 on ESPN2, number 8 Georgia Tech at NC State. Tech is favored by 5.5 points. The AJ Fund Index is a respectable 57.5. AJ, have you recovered sufficiently to be able to pick this game?
I mean, listen, Brent Key is here to save my ribs, I guess is what I'm saying.
Okay, yes.
And what he will do is he will put me into pads and run me into somebody else to make sure they get broken again. This definitely has a trip up game. And like at NC State, what time did you say the game was? Is it 3:30 game?
7:30.
Oh no, Brent Key, you got to go to Raleigh at night.
This is why I wanted to talk about this game because it's interesting.
Georgia Tech wins, but nobody's going to feel good about it.
Carla?
Well, first of all, can we get Haynes King on the Heisman watch list, please?
I agree.
Oh yeah, if Haynes, Heis King. There you go.
Okay. But we definitely need to get him on the Heisman watch list. So what he's been doing with the rec, we went from a mess to the rec. Is impressive. He completed 80% of his passes last week. 25 of 31, 304, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 93.2 quarterback rating. That's insane.
Yeah.
The reason why, yes, I think Georgia Tech might suffer some heartburn here, but they're going to ultimately win this game on the road. NC State, not one of the better defensive units in the conference. I don't think that NC State is going to be able to put enough of a speed bump up there to be able to slow down Georgia Tech. So I think Georgia Tech keeps things rolling. And based on the rest of their schedule, we're setting ourselves up for a massive showdown with Georgia at the end of the year. But rec on the road.
I won't say that Carter Finley is a house of horrors for opponents, but the Wolfpack always seems to have a game a year where they come out and surprise somebody and the offense clicks and they have good offense. Tech's gonna win this. But it's the Tech fans are going to have an uncomfortable, as we say here, an uncomfortable Saturday evening before they do. Also at 7:30 on the American Broadcasting Company, arguably the marquee game of the week. Number 18 Oklahoma at number 14 Tennessee. The Vols are favored by 3.5 at home. The AJ Fun Index is 56.5. If you want SEC chaos, let's throw this at the wall and see what happens. Carla?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what this game is. Vols went to Lexington last Saturday night and put up some points, y'all. They absolutely did not get dragged down in the mud. They scored early and often. They just set the tone for that game. As much as I jumped on the Sooners bandwagon earlier this year, Mateer just hasn't been the same quarterback since he went out with that injury. Right. He just doesn't look the same. His yards and production are way down. We saw that last week against Ole Miss. Tennessee's quarterback, on the other hand, Joey Aguilar, again, best trade ever, has been impressive. He also had a nearly flawless game last weekend, 20-26, 396, 3 touchdowns. Almost the same thing I just read off, right? 20-26, 396, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Quarterback rating of 95.3. That's even higher than Kings.
Yep.
Now, here's the playing field leveling statistic here. Oklahoma is tops in the SEC in pass defense. Mm-hmm. They have the number 1 secondary in the conference. Tennessee is dead last in the SEC in pass defense. Their secondary ain't worth anything this year.
Okay.
Right? But if we're talking about home field advantage, this is Neyland at night. Yep. And if you look at Tennessee's schedule, it's really the Vols' last true test until, this is weird to say, last true test until Vandy at the end of the year. I like Rocky Top here at home in a very close one, as much as it pains me to say that. I just feel like we know more about what they're going to be on the field at this point. I'll take the Vols at home.
Okay, AJ?
I'm also going to take the Vols at home. Neyland is a true home field advantage. Mm-hmm. No question about it.
Especially at night.
If this were at Oklahoma, I would give it to Oklahoma. This is a true, whoever is at home for this one is going to is probably coming out with a win. I can see Heupel scheming up some things for that Oklahoma defense. Mm-hmm. This is a long, I think this is a long road for Tennessee to get to this point. And they have, as Carla mentioned, they don't have much until the Vandy game. Again, a weird sentence to say. This was brought up on another show that Fullcast After Dark was brought up. Hey, what if the Tennessee, are we all prepared for a Tennessee Vandy game that matters?
Yeah.
It could be to get into the playoff.
Yep.
An even wilder statement. What if it actually doesn't matter because Vandy's getting in the playoff regardless?
Mm-hmm. What if it's a playing game for the SEC title game?
Yeah.
What if it's a playing game for the SEC title game? Just all of those things are all very real possibilities.
Yes.
And I think in order to get to this nexus of crazy, give me the Vols.
Last week, we talked about Oklahoma's defense, in that they had a strength-on-strength matchup against Lane Kiffin's offense in Ole Miss. The result of that is that Oklahoma gave up 34 points, which for them is a monumental number. Tennessee's offense is at least that good, perhaps considering recent history, maybe better than that of Ole Miss. Carla, I agree. Mateer is not. I don't know if he's fully recovered. Not the same guy at the moment, and that could change. Something could click. You never know. But with what I see as perhaps a little a shakiness on the Oklahoma defense. Not at all shaky from the Tennessee offense, plus at home at night, Vols win this game. And then finally, we have a traditional November Big Ten matchup. Number 23, Southern California at Nebraska. SC is favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fund Index is a solidly Big Ten 59.5. But AJ, what do you think?
This one comes down to can USC play defense? They've been a lot better this year, but that fun index is there for a reason. USC's offense has been very, very potent this year. They did it against Michigan. I think this is a opportunity for USC to come out and get a name brand win. I'm not going to say it's a big win. I'm going to say it's a name brand win.
That's fair.
Dylan Raiola, I almost called him Dylan Mahomes because that's every single comparison is he looks like him. He wears the same number. He does the same movements.
Yes.
He tries to be Mahomes on a regular basis,
Yes.
down to like, I'm going to make this stupid throw that I absolutely should not make while I'm parallel to the ground type of things. And I just don't see it. Like it was funny the first 5 times I saw it. It's not funny the 20th time around. Give me USC.
Carla, traditional Big Ten matchup for you. What do you got?
Yeah, no, stop me if you've heard this before. Matt Rule needs a signature win. How many times have we said that just this season alone? And so enter USC. Here's another chance.
Hey.
Right? But I'm not sure the Huskers get it done this time either. Nebraska has been in survival mode all season. There are no decisive Power 4 conference wins on its roster. They're all nearly one-score wins. The one thing that Nebraska does have going for it in this game is its pass defense. They're second in the conference. So can they slow down the prolific and productive USC offense? That's going to be tough to sustain across an entire game. Especially the way that Jaden Mayava has been playing right now. I mean, it's going to be tough to slow down that passing attack. I think this game is probably closer than it probably should be.
Yeah.
But USC gets the win here on the road.
Okay. What Lincoln Riley should do, not throw the ball at all. Nebraska's run defense is 90th in the country. Give him 158 yards per game. Run the ball, keep it out of the Nebraska offense's hands, and walk off with the 17-10 win or whatever. And then what Lincoln Riley's going to do. But I think Southern Cal's overall offense is going to be able to score. I think they'll be able to slow down Dylan Raiola and the Huskers offense, and they will leave Lincoln with a win that they're looking for. Boys and girls, you can hear the Carla and Crappy Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and a variety of other podcasting hosts. You can watch us on YouTube and on the show's Facebook page. You can read us on our Substack. If you like us, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you really like us, write the Big Ten and tell them that Ohio State and Penn State need to play every year. And then be sure to come back next week to see exactly how wrong we were. Final thoughts. AJ, what else is on your brain this week?
Last week, we had a number 1 versus number 2 game in the FCS, North Dakota State versus South Dakota State.
Yep.
Oof, South Dakota State.
Yep.
Yeah.
In Brookings, too. So congratulations on the extra mile of land that you now own of South Dakota, the fine folks of North Dakota.
That is fantastic.
The Dakota marker, it's not actually moving. It's fine. It would be way funnier if it did. But North Dakota State beat the brakes off of South Dakota State. And now, this week, they are hosting the Penguins of Youngstown State, the number 19 Penguins. That is a fun one. That'll be on ESPN Plus at 3:30 p.m. That's in the Fargo Dome. Might want to keep an eye on that if anything else in the 3:30 window gets weird. This is it's about that time where we're starting to see like things start to squish down a little bit. Ferris State beat Grand Valley State in a fairly highly ranked in a ranked game in Division II. They won 38-31. They host Northern Michigan. who's doing well. Slippery Rock coming up in the Division 2 rankings. They're up to number 22.
Nice.
So, we have some movement around there.
Okay.
So keep an eye on those sorts of keep an eye on the other games that are going on. By the way, the game I mentioned last week between New England College, it's different. New England College and Maine Maritime Academy. I watched the entire game in full screen on my television.
And
it was fantastic. You want to watch two teams who barely exist right now? They literally both started their seasons. This is their first season back playing football. That's why they're ranked so low. And Bill Connell says
okay.
plus.
Okay.
College of New England had a team in the 50s. Then they shut it down because they weren't very good. They brought it back in the 70s, and then they shut it down because they weren't very good. They tried bringing it back again right before COVID, and then COVID hit, and they just kind of squashed it all. So this was their first real season, and this was New England College won at home. Go Grims. And that is their first win in 51 years. That's an insane. That's an insane statement. Maine Maritime Academy shut down their program during COVID, fearing budget shortfalls, those sorts of things. So they've more or less restarted their program as well. So I would say that there is a good chance the Maine Maritime Academy gets it up going soon. But hey, both of them need to put Oberlin on the schedule. Let's really get this party started. But New England College, you are no longer the bottom. You are probably moving up a few spots in the rankings.
Put Oberlin on the schedule, and they will smack you with a cello. Carla, final thoughts from you?
If the 23 games we already covered on the show were not enough for you, yes, I counted. We covered exactly 23 games.
Okay.
If you are listening to this podcast, you missed this game. Jacksonville State at MTSU. That game is at 7:30 Wednesday, which is the day after we record this show. So go look up the score to see who won. I'm willing to bet it was probably Jacksonville State. Middle is then off until November 8th because they're getting back onto the Saturday schedule. So Q-Section is over as of this week. We switched to MACtion next week, friends, so we'll have lots to talk about there. Also, for AJ and my alma mater, Robert Morse won last week. Woo!
That's right.
Nice.
Get wrecked, St. Francis.
Yeah, it might be the last, they're not going to have a program anymore, or they're dropping
You
to
lost
D3.
to Robert Morris, and you got to go all the way down to D3 to pay your penance.
Yeah. So they're going to D3. Robert Morris this week plays at Stonehill. That game is at 1 Eastern, only available on NEC Front Row. That's the NEC's website, so you can catch the live stream there.
Great.
And I threw this game in just for funsies and primarily for AJ's sake.
Sure.
Klanga at Arkansas. That game is at 4 Eastern on the SEC network. One of those teams is going to get their first conference win because they're both 0-4 in the conference. Also, the AJ Fun Index, 67.5.
Oh,
That's right.
It's the highest of the week.
Pointsy SEC football, the opposite of Kentucky Auburn.
Yes. It's the
by the way,
antithesis.
they aired during the Tennessee Kentucky game, like right in the middle of the first quarter, they started advertising Kentucky Auburn. I'm like, you're not allowed to put threats on television like that. You're not allowed to do that. That's illegal.
So Mississippi State at Arkansas, if you want to see points on points on points, put that game on in the 4 o'clock window.
Brought to you, Arkansas football. Brought to you by Harley Davidson of Fayetteville. I will be paying attention to the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, who are at this point, for the first time since I have worked there, unranked. They will be traveling to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to play the equally unranked Dickinson Devils, who, as I confirm my suspicion here, they are also 2-2 in the Centennial and 4-3 overall. Something's got to give. Hopefully, it's going to be the Devils. I will, of course, be watching Ohio State, Penn State. As we mentioned previously, I didn't write down the line here. It's ridiculous. Take Penn State in the points if you're going to do that. Ohio State's going to win the game, but it is not going to be a cakewalk. I will not be watching my Bobcats on Saturday. When I will be watching my Bobcats, and I will apologize in advance to both of you, I will be watching my Bobcats next week as we are taping the Week 11 show. while they play their rivals, my rivals, the Miami University obscene nicknames that I'm not going to repeat on this show. It's the Battle of the Bricks, and MACtion is back, and you guys are going to have to sit and watch me watch this game while we talk about everything else that's going on this weekend.
I feel like we need to timestamp it. So like if you're listening to this podcast next week, that you can go back and like just put the game on like while you're listening to the podcast. You don't even have to listen to the game. You can just listen to the podcast while the game is on. You can go, okay, they started the podcast at like 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first quarter or whatever. And then you can go like, you can watch the video while Crappy goes, oh, not that.
You can,
like
that, I think
would be good.
The Dark Side of the Moon syncing up with Wizard of Oz, and you started right at the same moment.
Syncing up the Mike Lang call to a Pens game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I used to do all the time.
100%. Yeah. It's if you play the podcast backwards, we actually talk really, really highly of NBA basketball. Turns out. It's true.
Boys and girls, I am going to be in that state next week when we see you again. But that's because it's November football. And we are getting down to it. The important things get decided. The fun things are more fun. And I hope you take the time to enjoy the college football that's coming up for the next 4 weeks, because it's going to be amazing. Yes, AJ?
I have an update to the SP Plus Week 10.
Yes.
Nothing changed. New England College is still number 765. Maine Maritime is number 766. Oberlin is 766.
We didn't. Okay.
Sorry, 764, 765, 766. So nothing's changed, but congratulations on your win, New England College.
Absolutely. 100%. AJ and Carla, thank you very much. As fun as it always is, and perhaps even more fun because we're talking about November football. Boys and girls, thank you for everything you do for the show, for the watching, the reading, the listening, the tolerating, which will become more important as the season comes to an end. Watch your favorite team. Watch some teams you never heard of. Watch a fun game. Don't watch Kentucky and Auburn. Don't do that. But anything else pretty much is on the table. Guys, enjoy it. And we will see you back here next week. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.